Okay, just wait a few seconds for it to start up for people. There we are. Hello, people. Welcome. Why can I hear myself talking on stream? That's strange. Hello. I've not got the Twitch page open or anything. Hold on, I need to quickly check. Why can I hear myself talking?
You're hearing yourself.
That's strange.
Really
Luckily, I'm used to that because of things. Let me reload the chat. Ah, now it's
No,
stopped.
don't hear myself.
That's strange.
Ugh.
The pop-out Twitch chat, for some reason, was playing back the stream. Odd. That is very strange.
Oh no.
Yes, Eliza, Nija, we are starting. Hello. Hello, Rooms Bath as well. So, as you can probably guess, we've got the guests, we've got the players, we've got a new episode of Star Trek Pathos. So, hello.
Hello.
Greetings.
Yay!
Would you like to introduce yourselves and your characters?
Okay, I shall start since I'm at the top. Hello everyone, I'm CangoFango and I play, also known as Cango sometimes. And I play Doviah Drenlich Twossock, who is the human communications officer on the USS Pathos.
Hello. I am Dodrebur, or Dodd, and I play Captain Shiun of the USS Pathos, who is a Vulcan.
I am Zarok, and I play Nero, which is the flight controller.
Thank you very much. So,
Okay.
yes, like I said before, new episode. This one, I haven't chosen a title yet. We'll see how the session goes, and then I'll choose a title when I upload it. So, yeah, just episode 12 for now. Right, so let's get started. Dodd, I believe that you have something for us.
Yes, it is that time.
Of year again.
Captain's Log, Stardate 6542.4. As our patrols take us further from Federation space, we have been directed to investigate an unexplored moon in the unclaimed RL-844-B system, notable for its unusually dense atmosphere. Our search for a suitable on-ship counselor has unfortunately been stalled due to our current location, but it shall be addressed as soon as possible.
Okay. Concise and to the point. Great
Great.
mood setter. Thank you very much. So, no man's land. Or space, some might say. Also, it's really foggy here at the moment, and it's really nice.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that's not
Very
relevant.
nice.
Not relevant.
Right as usual.
So, right. Just make sure I'm on the right page of my notes for this. As usual, of course, momentum's reset to nothingness.
To 0. Yeah, makes sense. As usual.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
And right, I'm on the correct page. So, as you are approaching the system, everybody is on duty. Is there anything anyone would like to do before you get into sensor range?
So we're currently approaching
You're currently approaching the system.
Okay.
Outside of sensor range?
Yeah. I mean, you've got the long range sensors, as in the sensors that can reach for light years.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do things like, for example, scan for ships just in the area, or do things like that, you can do that from here.
Well, I mean, we're on patrol, so I assume we're kind of constantly
Yes.
scanning for ships.
It was just an example.
I'd say probably not.
Yeah.
I'm just
We already
trying to
have
approach.
long-range sensor data on the moon,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
hence the fact that we are here, so...
Mm-hmm. So I'd say we just enter the system.
Okay. So, Nero, piloting the ship,
Mm-hmm.
take it out of warp at the edge of the system, and
Mhm.
you close in towards the moon and enter a
What?
standard orbit, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
By the way, the moon is orbiting a gas giant of the purple hue. So,
That's my jelly buttons.
yep,
Ah,
indeed.
lovely.
And the jelly buttons beep and chirp back with happiness? I don't know.
Enthusiasm.
Anyway, so enthusiasm. So, you're in orbit. By the way, one thing I almost forgot is the modular laboratories that we've got.
Mhm.
What kind of field do you want them to be set to for this adventure?
Did we do that before?
We did do it a couple of times, but then we didn't do it for a few of the episodes. But we did do it a couple of times.
Are there any presets, or is it just something we just... Are there like set
What we got?
things? Or?
Let me just read out the talent description.
Well, I don't think there is anything really to it, but I'm not sure exactly which scientific field one would use for studying the atmosphere and geographical features of an unexplored planet, but whatever that one is.
You mean whatever
That'll
the
make
use-
sense.
You mean whatever the useful one is, we set it to that.
Yes.
I mean, it makes
I mean,
sense.
generally that's what we would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then that kind of defeats the point of how they work. Because then you might as well treat them as always working on that specific thing for an adventure.
Unless...
But that's the whole point, that you can reset at each adventure.
Yes.
Unless it's a thing where you think you're going to need for that.
Well, that's
and
true.
then it just changes in the session or something.
That's true. Okay, well...
Like, we're going to investigate one thing, but
Mhm.
who knows what we're going to find.
Get sidetracked. Yeah.
So we just prepare for what seems to be what we're going to encounter,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and then things roll out of control inevitably.
I suppose that
Yeah.
does make it a bit more fluent.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, you've entered orbit, and you can do whatever you want.
You really don't want me to answer that question.
Within reason.
Good
Now
thing you added
got
that. Okay, right?
Well, I guess we should start with getting more detailed information on the atmosphere and the moon's surface. Seems
Makes
like
sense.
a standard start.
Mm-hmm. So, that is going to be Jay Baylor, who... I mean, it's going to be a difficulty 1, but because of the advanced sensor suites, it gets reduced to 0. So the ship will assist. So just doing 2d20. That's 2 successes. I really need to put this character into Roll20 one of these points, but I keep forgetting about it.
That'll be
Okay.
helpful.
That'd be nice.
So, who would like to roll for the ship?
I can do it.
Yeah.
Sure. Uses Pathos. Character sheet. Okay, so that is science plus sensors, I'm guessing.
Uh-huh.
Right, let's add to that as well. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Well,
Ah.
there we go.
That, okay.
Well,
So
damn.
you've got 4.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
3.
4,
that
because
thing
those
is-
were 2 successes that he got, and then a crit on the ship, so that's 4 successes in total. Which means 4 momentum because the difficulty got reduced because of the talent. To 0.
I meant to pay plus, but okay.
Oh, you meant what it rolled. Ah, right, I thought you meant the
Yeah.
number of successes. My mistake. So... Okay. Scanning the atmosphere reveals that It is comprised mostly of oxygen, hydrogen, and a bit of nitrogen, as well as a not insignificant amount of methane. And which we'll get in a moment. The surface of the planet is rocky. Lots of mountains, crags, ravines, pretty much the entire globe. There is no life on the surface except... Wait a minute, actually, no. It looks like there is a single life sign.
Oh, great. One life sign.
And there also appears to be some small craft within a few miles of that life sign landed. Also, there does appear to be a really quite strong magnetic field.
Magnetic field, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Guess we shouldn't park too close to it then.
I don't know what the exact implications of that are.
Well,
Of like strong magnetic fields in general.
yeah, well,
Don't know what that does.
Yeah.
so the main property is that they make using the transporter a little bit riskier.
so we're flying down. Great.
Yeah. Looks like it.
Also, I will point out that the orbiting the planet that the moon orbits is relatively close to the host star. So even though the atmosphere is dense enough for you to breathe, it isn't that dense. Now, the reason why the density is an oddity is because of the size of the moon. It's quite small.
So we can breathe or we can't breathe? Sorry,
You
my
can
brain
breathe.
doesn't...
You can breathe.
Okay. Okay, we're good. So,
Can we?
It seems to be breathable.
Okay.
But we'll bring our EV suits just in case.
You want to bring them in a case? Pretty big case you'll need.
Well, the shuttle is the case. In this case. Anyway, so yeah. When should we fly down? Also, where's the... Before we do that,
Let's not get ahead of ourselves now, come on.
where is the life sign on the planet? Is it just in a random location, or is
There
it just,
there is no... the only important bit of information where the life sign is that it's within a few miles of the landed small craft.
Alright.
If you want more information about stuff, that'll cost you momentum.
Can we get an idea on the origins of the craft?
That's a good one.
Or
Or maybe when it landed. I don't know.
Like, what culture made it?
Yeah.
Is it something we
so-
recognize?
Yeah.
oh, there.
Nero has starship recognitions, yes?
Give me a sec, but yes, I think I do. Starship recognitions. Yes, I do.
Okay, in that case, I will allow for that to be a separate roll. So, yeah. Because just checking the just doing a quick search, so to say, it appears to be unknown. Hello, YDY Maisons something. I'm just
Is
gonna
that
say
not a
YDY.
bot? It looks like a bot.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Yeah.
I can't see the chat, so
Okay, well in that case I'll ban it.
Okay. Bye bye.
So, okay, that will be a separate roll, because.
yeah.
But first, let's conclude the other roll.
Mm-hmm. So,
Okay.
yeah. Right, so,
Nature of the life sign.
Okay,
Yeah.
that'll work.
sure.
So, the life sign on sensors appears to be humanoid, for one thing. Reasonably strong. And it also appears to be Vulcan.
Well, noted. Literally. Okay.
And to be clear, we would be able to tell the difference between a Vulcan and a Romulan, yes.
That depends.
Oh, God.
Depends how close you are.
Hmm?
It depends how close you are and depends on the era. In this era, the Romulans were only ever seen, actually physically seen on a screen, twice. In the original series, up to this point. And before that, it's been like 100 years. So you do have some data. From this height, it could be easy to mistake. If you have a suspicion, then you can try to specifically check for that.
Do we want to do that?
I mean, it would make more sense since we're still pretty close to the Romulan neutral zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Hello, the infamous storyteller. Welcome.
Oh, hello, yes.
I don't know what you mean by by Twitch's username / password rules. I don't know what you mean by that specifically.
Me neither. It's worked for me.
So, is that something that you would like to do, or should we resolve that after we can see if we find out what the craft is, maybe?
Sure. Let's do it after.
Yeah, because if it's a Romulan craft, then...
Mm-hmm. So, any more Opti information spends?
I don't think so.
I think we're good. Or maybe... Can we find out how long they've been there? Or not?
That would be
I feel
difficult.
like that'd be pretty tricky.
That would be difficult.
Okay, that's fine then. Sure.
I mean, you can check the surrounding area if there are traces, like warp traces,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can see if maybe that there was maybe some information from that, but that'll take time.
Okay, let's leave that then. That's fine.
I mean, it could be good, could be useful.
If that's something I could start, perhaps start doing.
I'd say it's something you can recommend.
As like a information spend thing, like the what you said for this role, you mean? Would that work as a momentum spend for this role, or would that be a
well,
separate?
it would be a separate role because you were specifically targeting your scans on the planet.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
So, any more information spends on this roll, or do you want to keep the 3 momentum?
Do the next roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next roll is the craft. Let's see if Nero can figure out or knows what the craft is. So in this case, I'm going to say either con or engineering plus insight, and I'm going to set the difficulty to 2.
Communication range
1. Yes, 1.
Can I have dice, please?
1 die?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
So insight and engineering, yeah?
That will work.
Okay.
Or you say con as well? Or con?
Con could work in this context as well.
Ha ha.
Oh. I think I do that. 'Cause that's just one higher.
Alright.
Insight, okie dokie. There we go. There you go.
Okay. So
Wow.
Oh wow.
2,
Wow.
14, and 12.
yeah, plus the apparently the focus mattered.
For once.
I wonder what
But
crazy.
what I'm gonna say is, ding ding, whatever it is.
I wonder what crazy shenanigans Quithran is getting into.
Is gonna get into.
Gonna get
yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Only time will tell. Or you, really.
So,
Both.
even though this specific design doesn't make any sort of appearances in the ship's database, you remember you were somewhere at a conference or something, and you remember different ships being described, and yes, you are quite certain that this is a Romulan shuttlecraft.
Well. Intriguing.
Yay, a Romulan shuttlecraft.
The shuttlecraft is probably not a threat, but
Just our luck.
the mothership might be a threat. Who knows?
Where's the mother?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to have science and medical get like a thorough record of that specific life sign scan, so that in the future our ship and other ships don't confuse Vulcans and Romulans.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like tag it as Romulan.
Okay.
The equivalent.
And I guess
We'll go home. Mission over.
Yay, so what's the landing party?
Ah yes, the landing party.
So Captain, what's the landing party?
So Nero to fly the shuttlecraft. Comms would indeed make sense for this interaction.
Yes.
Security would also make sense for this interaction.
Very much so.
Yeah, we'll have Shiun actually be there in person as well.
Ooh.
A doctor too, perhaps? I'm not sure.
Yeah, a medical representative would be good.
Alright. Sounds good.
To check this individual out if they are friendly. And since there's going to be difficulties with transporting, and it's a fairly hazardous landscape, and we don't know what's going on with this moon, I think we'll bring like extra like rations, water, and supplies just in case we're stuck down there for a while.
Good thinking, yes. That's good.
Okay.
And we'll bring torches as well.
So,
Well, yes, light
Yeah.
for when it is dark is generally advised.
a light for
Also
when it is
something I
dark.
would normally assume,
Yeah.
but sure. Since apparently it does need to be specified sometimes, sure, we'll specify.
So,
Okay.
let's double check the away team. We've got Shiun, Nero, Doviah, a medical, and who did you want to take for security? And who are you leaving in charge of the ship?
Well, if security wasn't also first officer, then I'd take them. But they are indeed first officer. So grab one of our security people.
Okay.
And put them in charge.
And put them in charge.
What?
No.
Great idea, put a register in charge.
I have no idea who the Boondock Saints are.
I have
If you
never
start
heard
on
of
Show.
those.
It's an animated show.
Alright.
God.
I've never heard of those.
Okay, so we've got Shiun, Nero, Doviah, one medical, and one security.
And I think it's based on like a real like place and subculture. But anyway.
So, right.
But anyway.
You've got extra. I'll mark down extra provisions.
Can't
You said.
survival gear.
Okay, yeah. So, if that's everything, do you want to go down to the moon now? See, I called it a moon because it's not a planet.
Yes. And
Do you feel that I made that same
guess
mistake?
probably-
I don't know.
stuff to help navigate the terrain, like, I don't know, whatever future climbing gear is.
Yeah, sure.
Just those
Also-
those jet boots.
Yeah. Also, those buggies from the animated series aren't strictly canon.
Ah!
Okay,
Ah.
so you've got equipment, provisions for climbing, other stuff. Is that all? Are you going?
Yeah, other than standard equipment,
Yes, standard equipment, of course.
Good.
Phasers, tricorder, communicator.
Probably also, nah. Anything for this initial trip, any scans we need to do is covered by tricorders. Don't need to get specific with it.
Okay, sure. So then that means you're going?
Sure.
Yes, so we're all
I'd be
stuck
up for
together.
that.
We're going.
Okay, good.
I shall bring my theatrics as well.
You meet in...
It'd be concerning if you left them.
Very concerning.
Well,
You meet in the shuttle bay. You enter just as the shuttle is Well, actually, the shuttles are turned around on landing, so it would already be turned the right way. You enter, do the safety checks, everything's good. The shuttle bay gets depressurized, the doors open, and as you exit, you see this stunning view with a matte painting of, of the purple gas giant with this greyish moon in the foreground. You descend. Where specifically would you like to land, Nero?
Probably a little bit off from the ship that landed.
Maybe a mile or so?
Ish. Your take.
Okay. So, you take the shuttle down into the atmosphere. Shuttle touches down. And you're here.
Right. Yay. Well, if we have to say we open the doors, we open the doors. Do we die?
That's your role.
Yes, but not yet. So,
Okay.
you open the doors and step out onto alien world. Everything looks like it's basically rock, but you can already see lots of interesting rock formations, little ledges, cliffs, pillars, arches, all around you.
I start scanning around.
Do you want me to lock the
door?
The shuttle?
Again, something I generally assume.
Just leave it unlocked. Just leave it unlocked. No one will take it.
You'd be surprised in how many episodes that just isn't actually a thing that gets done. It's like you press the button, the door opens. Like, but sure.
Well,
Yeah.
no. Here we use logic and we lock our doors.
So
Beep.
So,
I'm done.
the infamous storyteller's just spinning his own wild story there. It's interesting. Anyway, yeah, shell gets locked. What do you want to do?
And I guess we're going to go towards the ship and the life.
So at this point,
It is daytime, right?
yes, at this point, you're about equidistant to the landed vessel as well as the life sign. Where would you like to go to, or would you like to split up?
It's
Not
bad splitting
yet.
up.
I'd say not yet. We don't split up yet. If at all.
We don't split up unless there's a good reason to.
Yeah.
The captain's here.
Silly goose.
So what are we doing?
Then again, in this group, sometimes I suppose that does need to be specified.
Okay. So,
But anyway, so now that we're on planet, I would like to try and see
Moon.
Moon.
Who
On
cares?
Moon.
Moon, planet. Who cares? Just
Anyway, not important. So now that we're here, can we get any indication of why this atmosphere is the way it is? Since that's what we came here to do, and we're not in immediate danger.
yeah, if you give me a, let's make it a
knowledge local.
Let's make it a difficulty 1, science plus reason check, which you can succeed at a cost. And if you get more success over it, then that just translates into how fast you are able to deduce information.
Noted.
So,
1.
1. Okay. So, got 1. That's all you needed. Scanning around, you find several little pools of water that look like they're bubbling and boiling. Volcanic vents, basically. Approaching, you scan to ascertain depth, and they go down a long way out of your tricorder's range. Analyzing the different gases that are emitted, it would appear that if this is a very common thing around the surface of this moon, that could very well be what is generating the atmosphere. Something beneath the surface is generating all these gases that bubble to the surface, which is still a bit strange.
Yes.
But
Yes, it's weird.
so far, that's the best explanation that you've gotten.
Especially since, from what limited scientific knowledge I have, that is not my best subject. Methane is usually associated with organic material.
That is very true.
So that's weird. That there may be something deep inside this moon that is comprised of organic material.
Yeah. It sure sounds strange. We'll see if it actually is strange.
Next time on Star Trek Pathos.
Well, that was a quick game. Anyway, we'll try and find the inside in Cave Forest later. Right. Where are we going? To the ship, or should we go to the life sign first?
How far away is the life sign from the
Assume
ship?
we're equidistant.
I mean the life sign from their ship.
Also,
Twice the distance we are from the ship.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Sure.
I said a couple miles. He said landing a mile-ish. So that's about a mile either side.
So yeah. I would say life sign first.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll head that way then.
Mostly because they are not identified as an enemy as of yet, and we don't know how long they've been here. They might need help.
Okay. I think it is that way.
Okay.
That away.
So that away you go.
Which is the right way, by the way.
Yes.
I would
I
would assume that with tricorders, you would be able to find a location that's about a mile away.
Yes.
Maybe,
So-
especially since there's no stuff covering the terrain apart from the terrain itself.
Okay. So
Perhaps.
it is surprisingly easy to traverse this landscape. At first glance, it looks like you would have to do a lot of climbing, but there is like a web of essentially canyons and ravines that make up these very flat ways that you can walk along on the same level that you landed on. If you want to, you could climb up one of the sides onto one of the plateaus at the top, but there's no reason for you to do so, I think. So, eventually, you come to a bit of a corner in one of the ravines. Your tricorders indicate that the life sign is located a little ways into a cavern around the corner. There's an open area, and in one of the cliff walls, the cavern is located a little bit of a ways inside there.
Huh.
You have noticed smaller caverns and little holes and things in the landscape as you were traveling before.
And there's nothing else unnative to this moon in the cavern, as far as we can tell.
As far as you can tell, there are no other life signs.
I meant like non-rocky material.
Oh, right.
Something weird. Like that.
No, there's nothing like that. Except for
I assumed you would have mentioned another life sign.
Yeah, except for you do get a little bit of stuff that's probably just equipment that whoever this individual is has with them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I am carrying some of the supplies, just in case.
Alright. So about how far are they from our current location?
At this point, about maybe 50 meters.
Okay, that's still pretty far. All things considered. So I guess we'll get to...
At medium range. Well.
Get to like... I don't know, get to the cavern entrance?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how far away that is.
And then we'll get out our torches.
The cavern entrance is about 30 meters away, on the other side of this larger open space around the corner.
Okay.
Right.
Sounds good.
So, as you exit out onto this more open space, you see the cavern entrance on the other side, and it looks like it's been bricked up with rubble.
So sealed.
Yes. Just loose bits of rubble stacked up on top of each other to seal the entrance. Although, being loose bits of rubble, it's of course not airtight or anything like that. But, yes.
We should have brought a shovel.
That's a running gag from the other group that none of you except for Gango is in.
But, literally though, a shovel might be useful. Anyway. Okay.
Guess move some aside, get some light into the cavern, see what's going on in there.
Sure. So we'll just start moving stuff away.
You're not just gonna use the phasers on maximum power. Aww.
No.
Better
We
not.
look first, we evaluate, and then we remove all the rubble if that seems like the best decision.
Okay.
Good call.
You manage to remove some of the bits of rubble. Looking in. The cavernous space is reasonably large. Like, it kind of extends inward and curves a little bit. You can't really see past that much, although it does look like it's going to go on for a while. There is nothing else of interest that you see just by looking in the entrance here.
Guess we're going in, so I guess I get more torches up.
Yeah. I get my torch out, probably wrist mount or something, and I activate it. what can I see? Is there anything more of interest?
So it is just looking in
with the torch.
I was assuming that you were already using your light.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Okay, then should we enter it then?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Do you manually remove the bits of rubble to create a passage, or do you use your phasers? Manually.
Yeah. Guess not to alarm anyone with phaser fire.
Guess it's time to get your hands dusty.
For that.
So,
Getting your hands dusty.
disassembling this wall. It takes you a bit of time, but you do manage to get a passageway in. So, what do?
Carefully enter.
Do you have phasers drawn or not?
Yeah, I assume so.
I've got my torch drawn.
Get that as well.
I don't know if we should approach with our phasers drawn.
I'd say out, but not like pointed at anything.
So you mean just in hand?
Just readied.
In hand. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
All of us? Or I don't know.
I mean, if you don't want to, you can choose not to. Probably medical doesn't have it. They're probably advised to get more information on the status of the life sign with their medical tricorder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
mm-hmm. Sure.
You don't want it
Sure.
out, you don't have to have it out.
Okay, right.
Speaking of which, medical tricorder data.
I thought you might inquire about that.
I don't think Data's with us though.
Haha. Let's see. So here we go.
Data
Just-
hasn't been
Yeah.
born, modified, created yet.
Yeah.
I don't know what his situation is.
Yeah.
built
Sure.
Assembled.
by Dr. Noonien Singh. Soon. But that's soon. It's soon. But doesn't matter.
Anyway.
So that's
Anyway.
sure. 12. Target number here is 12.
Dope.
Oops.
Oh, okay.
There we go. 2 successes. Okay, which means they actually generate 1 momentum, so you've got 5.
Nice.
So, the medical officer you've got with you, the whisperer says, Captain, I'm reading the life signs quite strongly now. Just around that corner. My guess would be whoever this is currently asleep. I'm not detecting any other agents in the area. I think we're alone.
Very well.
Good.
Be ready for a potentially unpleasant awakening.
Oh no.
We do not know how they will react.
Okie dokie.
I nod. Quietly.
So as you go a little bit further, you notice in a corner a whole stockpile of equipment. Just generally looking around it, it looks mostly like scientific equipment. If you want to know more specific details of what it might be, more specifically, that's gonna be a roll.
Sure.
Sure.
Let's look at it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be engineering plus insight or reason, and I'm going to set the difficulty to 2.
And there are no lights around, right?
No lights.
Okay.
That sounds like a Nero roll.
Yeah.
Or are the lights just not on?
You don't see any lights.
Okay.
Part West
Right.
Acre. Now little Captain Plant is part West Acre. Oh, I'm sure Mr. W would be honored.
Right.
I haven't been following that for a
Me
while.
neither, really. I've seen parts.
Yeah.
Something about...
Tribbles
Anyway,
and tulips and
plants.
food
Yeah.
and anyway.
Right. Scientific equipment. I assume contact doesn't count, so no focus.
However, I will allow 1 assist.
Wow.
What's our Numenton?
Momentum.
The-
5.
We're 5.
Wow. That's quite a lot.
So it's definitely not my best roll. It'd be like a
Right.
If I did engineering and reason, it would be 12.
I'm doing insight, not reason, so.
Mine would be 13.
I know, but we don't have to make the exact same.
Yeah. You can
Yeah, sure.
if it depends how you're assisting. If you can justify using any of the combination, then you can do it.
Can I?
Anyway,
have a dice
Kango?
roll, guys?
You were saying?
No, I was just thinking mine would be 13, those two combined.
Okay, then you can assist.
Okay.
May I have a dice, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, much reason. Complication range, I'm assuming 1.
1, yes.
Okay. Think we're good. I got 1.
Okay,
Damn.
good thing you bought that. I'll assist.
Oh no. No.
I'm assisting. That's a 1.
Okay, that's 2.
Well, it's a 5. But
So
it's a
you
1.
got the 2 you needed.
17 and 18.
Looking around, kind of whispers between the two of you. You're fairly certain that this is surveying equipment.
Okay.
Cool.
Right.
It's survey equipment. Good, good.
It
Now,
appears so.
should we get there or they got off already? Or not?
So if you just take a couple more steps forward, you'll be all the way around the bend, and you'll be where the life sign is.
Yes. Proceed.
Okay.
Okay. Go around the corner. I'm assuming quietly.
We can't hear snoring, right?
No.
Okay.
You go around the corner. You can see, as the music cue comes in, of course, you can see kind of slumped over what looks like a sort of metal supply crate or something, the body of a Romulan soldier. So, wearing that kind of brass helmet, kind of golden chainmail with a I forget what it's called, like a thing going across it.
Mm-hmm.
And generally looking quite Roman-y. But he's got a tool belt, got what looks like a... Yeah, there you go. What looks like a tricorder, some other bits around.
Okay.
And you can see that laying maybe a couple feet away is a Romulan disruptor. Quite near him, within reaching distance. But he does seem to be asleep. You can see that his clothing is torn in pieces. Not torn to pieces, but there are pieces of it that are torn. That is what I meant.
Good.
Sash, there we go. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Sash.
Thank you, Rimsbath. Okay, so first thing to do, I'd say, is grab the disruptor, so
Yes.
they can't reach it.
Is
So
that
I can do that.
okay?
Sure.
Uh,
We all try to do it at the same time.
And you just bump into each other and fall over.
Nope.
Probably won't
No, this
happen.
is not Star Trek Lower Decks.
Yeah. Very true.
Alright. So what am I rolling?
So, I would say fitness plus security. If you want to do it, so this is, I'm assuming, without him waking up.
To sneak around?
To grab it without him waking up. I'm going to set the difficulty to 1, but the complication range I'm going to set to 2. And I'm going to increase that with 1 threat to complication range 3.
What was the difficulty?
Difficulty 1.
Okay.
So how many
Can I
dice do you want to buy?
Can I argue that this is instead control instead of fitness?
I can see that.
Because I'm
Go ahead.
being okay.
Go ahead.
Cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And
Okay.
so mechanically, this isn't the situation where I would use it, strictly speaking, but description-wise, I do have the talent of constantly watching, where when I attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies, that reduces the difficulty. But logically speaking, even though I'm not rolling a separate roll for it, can I use that to help notice if he starts waking up while I'm
Sure.
approaching this?
Sure.
Okay.
So I can switch from sneak to lunge.
Lunge / Vulcan Death Grip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something between that.
Okay,
Yeah, sure.
cool.
Makes sense.
Alright.
Right.
So let's see what this roll is with its complication range of 3.
Be the luck of the rolls, man.
Well.
Wait, I
That
only
doesn't
rolled
count. That
one
doesn't
Okay.
count.
for
That
some
doesn't
reason.
count.
Okay.
Why did I
Oh,
Good thing Roll20 got that out of its system.
please say.
Ah,
There we
much
go.
Get
better.
of its
See,
system.
much
Yes.
better.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so we're at 5. Momentum again.
Yay!
That was
Oh, I was a bit scared then.
that was like the typical fake out where it's like you go over and it's like just as you're reaching for it, you can see he's kind of turning over and cut to commercial. And then the commercial, and then it fades back in, coming over, and as he turns over, and no, he's just turned over a little bit, and you go in, and you
Exactly.
snatch it. You've got it.
Yes.
You look at it.
Okay.
It's clear that it's a type of disruptor, although it doesn't appear to have any setting for stun. It looks like it is purely a kill weapon. And since you beat it by 1 more, I'm also going to give it a little bit more information, which is that it appears as though the power cell of it has been depleted by about half.
Okay. Right, that gets confiscated. Okay.
And then just someone says, hem, to wake him up.
I'm going to... There's not really any place to hide things
Well,
in
there...
Starfleet uniform.
Oh, well, yes. Well, you do have, actually, you do have those go-go boots. I guess, yeah.
Oh, goodness.
It is technically small enough that you could slip it in there.
Okay. Yeah.
How we
It
carry
gets stashed away. Very carefully, in a way that it's not going to accidentally go off.
Yes. I was assuming you'd do it carefully.
Just wanted to make sure.
Nah,
Don't
I
want
just
you-
shot myself in the foot.
Literally.
Yeah.
Okay, so you managed to stash it there, doing it quite carefully, and yes, it's hidden. Which, by the way, since it's a small weapon, it does have the hidden one quality. So that's why you were able to do it.
Does he have any weapons
Right.
on him as well?
Not that you can see at the moment.
Okay. Can we scan for that?
For more weapons? You want to scan him for more weapons? If you want to do that, go ahead.
Just to be safe.
Sure.
Just
Just-
to know what's happening.
Just tell me how many successes you get.
Okay, so that is a science plus what? So yeah, reason.
Sure, that'll work.
Okay. That's 2 dice. Survival focus, no.
Well, not yet.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Well, 2.
Okay.
Two.
You detect that he has what looks like a dagger of sorts on his belt on the side that you can't see. So on
Okay.
his other side that he's kind of laying on.
So I whisper.
Slash
Careful.
slump John.
Yes. Careful. He's got a dagger.
Okay. Cool.
By the way, you do gain 1 momentum from that because it was only hidden 1, the dagger.
Nice.
So we're at full.
Yay.
Hey.
We're at full and we've got a sleeping Romulan. What could go wrong?
Alright. Well then. I'm going to have the medical officer approach from in front of him so that if he wakes up, they're the first thing he's gonna see. Just a medical officer who looks like they're about to take a scan. Very non-threatening.
Mm-hmm.
And Shiun's going to approach from behind, trying to get the dagger. And since she'll have to be really close to do that, As she reaches for it, she's going to have her hand in position to nerve pinch.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, that bitch.
That's good.
Oh, that's sorry. So I'm mucking around with the sit. Sorry.
That is good.
Okay, so it's time for another roll. Now, I would say daring, but given that you are a Vulcan and you've got composure, control is fine.
Yay!
And this time, I'm going to set the difficulty to... Let's set the difficulty to... Well, since I did say he's kind of slumped on it, let's set the difficulty to 3, with a complication range of 2 again, and I'm going to increase that to 3 as well, using another point of threat. So it's 3 and 3.
Okay. Right.
Answer the question is yes.
Okay.
Hello, Robin in the background.
I want to see if that's my Robin.
The other question is, does composure apply?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
I did say that's why you can use control, so...
Yeah.
Yes. I just wanted to verify.
Yeah, that's good, that's good. And I bet you would have used that argument against me if I had said no.
Maybe. Says I would like to buy a die.
Alright.
I already said the
You
answer to
shall
that
have
question
your
because the
die.
question's coming.
Yes.
Mhm. So, you've got another die.
Use it wisely.
Well, I don't have any re-roll abilities, so I am wary of buying more dice with a complication range of 3,
Mm-hmm.
given how well we tend to roll.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Here we go. Yep.
Ah.
Oh,
Complicated success.
Mm-hmm.
3 successes though. That's good.
Okay. So, do you want the good news
Interesting.
first or the bad news first?
Bad news.
Whichever order is logical based on the sequence of events.
How very in character of you.
Exactly.
So, right. You kind of indicate over for medical to get into position, like you said. You kind of go over, you step over what looks like a metal rod or something on the floor. Careful not to knock it over. You reach over underneath, get your hand in position. You manage to pull the dagger out. You've got it, but since he was kind of slumped on it, he is kind of stirring and beginning to wake up. Since you did say you had your hand ready, do you want to apply pressure in that on those specific nerves?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, as it's just kind of, and you apply and slumps unconscious.
Well, there we go then.
This is
Right.
why we plan.
Right. Mission done. No.
Let's go home.
No.
Found out why we've got the atmosphere. We found out why we've got the atmosphere. We found a Romulan. It's done.
Okay, but now that they're disarmed and nerve pinched, get the medical officer to, we'll get him off the supply chest he's slumped over and get like a proper medical examination.
Okay.
Great.
By the way, the cavern does indeed carry on.
What?
The cavern does indeed carry on
yeah.
past this,
Yes.
which I had forgotten to mention as you
But
went around.
Deal with the problem in front of us first.
Okay.
Just didn't want to forget about it, and then they're trying to say, like, what? Anyway, so get him into a more comfortable position.
But yes, I would assume that while medical is doing this, security is probably keeping an eye on our guy, and the rest of us are keeping an eye on everything else.
Yeah,
Sure.
that would make sense.
Sure.
Be reasonable, logical.
Some might even say expected.
Some might.
So, right, the scan.
Oh yes.
This is going to be a difficulty 0 task. However, the more successes this individual gets, again 12 target number, the more you can potentially discover. I'm assuming you don't want to buy dice?
No.
Okay.
Should be fine. Hopefully. Well, I say that.
God damn it, we're rolling.
So,
I
weird
say
today.
that.
That's no successes, but it is a difficulty 0, so it succeeds anyway.
Wow.
And you know what, since I spent 2 threat to increase the complication range, I'll just get those back.
Okay.
So there we go. Now,
Alright.
while they're busy doing that, it's going to take a little while for them to do that. Is there anything specific any of the rest of you would like to do outside of just keep an eye on your surroundings?
Is there anything special in that supply chest you slumped over?
It looks like just rations.
Okay. Could we scan for how long the cavern continues on?
Sure, if you want to. It's not
Okay.
you're not gonna need a roll for it or anything.
Sure.
It looks like the cavern continues on, gets narrower and narrower and narrower for about maybe around 100 meters or so, and eventually it gets to the point where it's either collapsed or it just ends.
Okay.
Could I?
And there are no other life signs in the cave down there.
Great.
Can I like arrive a little bit late and check on the data they had on the equipment that we looked at?
You mean the surveying
yeah.
stuff?
I am.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So that's going to be an engineering plus either reason, insight,
Okay.
either reason or insight check. Since it's somewhat unfamiliar technology, only difficulty 1, complication range 1.
Also, how far below the surface are we at this point?
Not that far. Looking about, it's the cliff was about
Yes.
10 meters ish. So it would be like maybe 6 or 7 meters
Okay.
Yeah.
with plateau above you.
Sure.
Insight
Thanks.
thing. Complication range 1. Yes.
Yes.
I don't have any. I don't think any of that all. No. So I'll just roll.
Okay.
You can succeed at a cost if you want to.
No.
You said that
And
before the
zeros.
roll even showed up.
Of course, that's why I deliberately
Well, yeah.
said it, because I'm supposed to give. So, do you want to
Makes sense.
succeed at a cost? Accept a complication, but succeed.
Nah.
No?
It was just a quick quiz. It's
Okay.
not.
So, you get them, you look at them, and the interfaces on some of them are. You think you know what some of the bits do, but not quite sure. The symbols on them look a bit like Vulcan's crypt, but trying to read it as such just gets you gibberish.
Yes.
Okay. So, medical gets done with the examination. Sorry, did you want to say something?
Who?
You, Rogue.
Oh, me? No, I'm just rolling pants today.
Ah.
That's about it.
I thought you
Like-
wanted to say something.
No.
So,
Okay.
medical officer you've got with you after completing the scan is Captain. He's in reasonably good health. I am detecting several bruises, some mild cuts that have mostly already healed over. Signs of prolonged periods of stress, but other than that, he's fine.
Very well. Get as detailed a scan as you can while I contact the ship.
Okay. They do that. You try contacting the ship. I'm gonna need a roll for you. Gonna need a roll.
Because we're in a cave?
Engineering plus control.
Okay.
Difficulty 1. Complication range 1.
Does the cave interfere with the
You
comms
can. We'll
thing?
see. Probably. You can succeed at a cost. Ah, there you go.
Nice.
So we're now at maximum momentum. Congratulations, everybody.
Ah, lovely.
Ah.
A 3 and a 4. Great. So, you do manage to get through to the ship, but it is a little staticky as you flip open your communicator. And you've got to twiddle those dials a little to get through. Complication. The Romulan had a spare dagger on him, which will remain undetected until he wakes up. Anyway, so
Yeah.
you get through to the ship.
We have a singular Romulan soldier in good condition, somewhat stressed and unconscious.
Acknowledged. How do you wish to proceed? Should we send another shuttle down to collect him?
Yes. However, I need you to be on the lookout for cloaked ships. I doubt he came here on a shuttlecraft.
Should we go to Yellow Alert?
I believe so.
Very well. Can you hear? Yellow Alert. You hear the klaxon sounding in the background. Says, we'll send a shuttle down immediately to your location.
Very well.
Anything else?
While awaiting your arrival, I believe several of us will continue down the cavern. So do not be alarmed if we are not present.
Understood.
Right.
Okay, that's everything? Good.
Okay.
Sure. So, that all gets
Bridge
set up.
out.
And at that point, since you said scan for cloaked ships, I need J. Baylor to make a check. So sit by the ship. This is going to be... Let's see, actually I need to look up what the difficulty would be. What's the difficulty for cloaked ships? One moment. I thought I had this in my notes, but apparently I didn't. Alien vessels. on the Romulan cloaked thing, the little section just says cloaking device. Romulan cloaking device is functional identically to the system used on Klingon ships. Okay, where's the Klingon ships then? Let's see. Where?
Then it says they function identically to the Romulan one.
Couple pages up. Okay. Here we go. Control puts engineering task with a difficulty of 2 assisted by the ship. And this is to allow, for it to allow it to vanish. Requires power of 3. It actually doesn't say anything about detecting it. It just says the vessel is blah blah blah. Operating the device requires that check to be made. Assisted by the ship. Requires power. If successful, the vessel gains the cloaked trait while cloaked. The vessel cannot attempt any attacks, nor can it be targeted. The target of an attack, blah blah blah. Unless the attacker is detected in some way. So it looks like there is no given difficulty to detect it.
Knowing the somewhat
eccentric,
unhelpful way that this system has its information laid out, is there a separate energy entry for the cloaked trait?
Hold on, I'll quickly look it up online.
Alright.
It does like to separate those things.
Yeah.
For some strange reason.
I don't know.
What is the purpose of banning the use of cloaking devices? Well, that's an interesting question, but not what I'm looking for. I can't find anything here at the moment. So, for the sake of the flow, let's just take it as written here, which doesn't mean, it doesn't say exactly how it is. So, actually in the episode Balance of Terror, there are little indications that you can see, little bits. So sure. I'll set a difficulty, but I'm not going to tell you the difficulty. And so Jay Baylor is going to roll.
So Baylor has cautious engineering.
He does, yes. Well, cautious
science.
Science, yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's fine. No worries.
Have a lot more characters with cautious engineering than cautious science.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
that's what my brain goes to.
yeah, his value is 14.
14. Alright. I have a feeling this is going to be pretty tricky. He is going to be assisted by the ship.
And since we've got advanced sense suites, that is going to reduce the difficulty by 1.
Whatever that difficulty is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of want to buy 2 dice for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, for that, sure.
Okay.
We have full momentum, so let's cut that in half real quick.
Yeah, why not?
Might as well.
Let me just use this Romulan stagger.
Ha 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 ha.
Okay, so here we go. Rolling 4d20. The number we're looking for is 14.
Here we go.
Okay, that's 2 successes. Should one of those 2 be re-rolled? One of the 15 or 16? Yes?
Yes.
Which one?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Here we go. And that is...
That's true. Good thing we re-rolled that. Good thing we re-rolled that.
Well,
Okay, well... So who wants to roll for the ship? It's
Go
going
on,
to
then.
be science plus sensors.
Let's do it. That's just totally chaotic. Or what is it?
Science plus sensors.
Science. Oh, sweet.
We do indeed have advanced sensor suites.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Huh.
What?
Okay,
Yay.
so that is 3.
So 3 in a complication.
Mm-hmm. The complication I'm going to turn into threat.
Oh no, he's losing threat.
So, you don't get notified of any potential cloak chips in the area, so presumably they've not detected anything. Okay, so while they're getting the shuttle stuff ready, prepared to send down, what would the rest of you like to do?
Go to the.
I think I'd like to keep security and medical on our Romulan friend doing that scan and protecting the medical officer during the scan.
In case of sudden Romulan.
Yeah. I think the rest of us should investigate a little further into the cavern.
Okay. Sure.
Since it's gonna take a while for the shuttle to get here anyway.
Yeah.
We can't go too far.
The traffic's not great.
Yay.
So,
Yeah, sounds good.
the
Sounds fun.
3 of you
Yeah, let's do this.
continue further
Yep.
into the cavern, which looks surprisingly a lot like one of those sets. Wonder why that is. Anyway, so it gets narrower and narrower as you follow. It's kind of leaning further down as you go. Eventually you get to the point where your tricorder is showing that it ends, and you see actually this has been blocked off as well. And it looks like some of those metal bars that you saw before have kind of been propped up against some of the larger pieces of rubble, which presumably have been cut out using the disruptor out of the rock. And you try, now that you're closer, the tripod does show that the cavern, narrow though it may be, does continue on for as far as your tricorder can show. And it is angled downwards more.
Oh.
Alright, well, bye-bye, Eliza. Thanks for stopping by.
Cindy, thanks for coming. Bye.
Good night.
But anyway, so but no obvious dangers like environmental changes that would be troublesome, life signs, anything. Just a cavern that continues narrowly down.
Yes.
You
To
going
the latter
now?
part of that statement. So just that. No dangers or anything that you detect.
Not
Oh.
yes to both. So can we also move parts of the rubble out of the way, or
If
not?
you want to, yes.
Might as well at this point.
Yeah.
Sure. I do keep turning around with my torch to see is there anyone there or not, just to be safe.
You don't see anyone there aside from one time where you see a ghost, but then everything's fine.
That's good then. Okay.
For canonical reasons, no, that does not happen.
Right. So yeah, I start.
I would advise you both to proceed with caution,
Yup.
as I doubt this soldier came with all that equipment by himself.
Yeah.
And we detected no other life signs on the surface, so it would follow that the life signs would be
Down here.
deceased or below.
Yeah.
Or perhaps both.
Yes, could be both.
Yeah.
Right, Captain.
So Is there a way to get beyond this block off in a way that would still make it pretty easy to block it off again?
I mean, this particular point in the cavern is really quite narrow, probably why it was chosen to be blocked off at this point in the first place. So, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you dismantle it manually. Of course, if you use the phasers to disintegrate it, then no.
Because the matter is gone.
Well,
Converted to energy, I think.
again, well, most of it, yes.
Sure. Just something like that.
Anyway, we remove the blockage manual.
Okay, you get the plumber. No, you dismantle the wall and just see this eerie, narrow corridor kind of slanting further downwards ahead of you.
Yay.
At this point, you get notified that the shuttle has landed and they're retrieving the Romulan. And it does sound quite a bit staticky through your communicator.
While we already have the connection, I am going to send word that we are proceeding into potentially dangerous territory and to have backup set.
Okay, sure.
Great.
Yeah.
Now what?
Go. Go
Well, let's
forward.
proceed further into potentially dangerous territory.
Yeah.
So, at this point, it's so narrow that only one, you can't go side by side. So it's single file. Who's going in front?
I'll go in front because I'm constantly watching.
Aha.
Okay.
So,
I'll go next.
If there are dangers or hidden enemies, I will spot them before they're on top of us.
That's always good. So, okay, I'll
remind me again, constantly watching, what does that do specifically?
When you attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty by 1.
Okay,
Nice.
that's what I thought it was, but it wanted to double
So
check.
it's the captain, it's Nero, and then it's Doviah. In that order, I believe.
So,
Yeah.
as you carry on, keeping your eyes and ears open, of course, you start to hear the dripping of water. Little places over there, echoing throughout this passageway. The stone is damp. No signs of any mosses or lichen or anything like that. It's just damp. As you continue on, it begins to branch and split off in various ways. At that point, I will need you to roll to spot hidden dangers.
All right. What am I
So-
rolling?
Security plus insight.
Okay.
By the way, I wasn't going to tell you the difficulty, but I might as well. So I will set the difficulty to 2, which then gets reduced by 1, so 1.
Okay.
Good to know.
Complication range 1, of course, in this case.
All right. So, just for the future, in case it does come into play, I do still have that focus in life as we don't know it. So, if that applies, you have to keep track of that.
Yes, I do.
So, just wanted to mention it.
Good.
Alright.
Okay, so difficulty 2 reduced by 1 to 1.
Complication
And
drawn to 1. Okay.
security insight. To buy a die or not to buy a die? That is the question.
I got there before I did.
So how much momentum do we have again? Half?
3.
Okay. I'd see 1 couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Well, you say that.
it might hurt the
I'm
tension.
doing it.
Okay.
Okay.
And it didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt. But that complication would have been there regardless,
Mm-hmm.
apparently. So
Yeah.
Damn.
Assume. Well, that is technically speaking not necessarily true.
we don't need to get into semantics. We've had the argument before. Let's move on.
Well,
I second that motion. Okay, so
yes.
right. Actually, what was that one? 11. Okay, so you proceed along deeper and deeper and deeper. At some point, you just to check whether you've still got comms connection open, and you can't get anything, at least not without a roll. Just static and nothing. Looking around, keeping an eye on things. You're looking for signs of maybe other members of this guy's team or other signs of life down here, and there is nothing. The only thing that you do notice is that the concentration of some of the gases that make up the atmosphere is denser down here. There is also a very, very almost negligible, but there is a bit of movement in the direction going towards the exit. And you see if you can try following that maybe through some of the branches, but it looks like it's coming from most of the branches. And yes, I'm assuming that you're using your tricorders to keep a map of where you're going.
Yes.
Yeah. Because not doing that would just be silly.
Yes.
Very much so.
And so we did request backup, and they should be able to scan for our equipment and life signs and everything. We don't have to worry about them not being able to follow us.
Probably, yeah. Although you are quite deep. And the rock does seem to interfere with your communications, and if it interferes with your communications, it might also interfere with scans. But that hasn't been established.
Okay. Is there some kind of marking system we could use that would definitely be noticed?
Sure. You can set your phasers to a low-ish heat setting and mark off which ways you're going as you're doing that.
Okay.
Just light the torches along the way. Wait, what?
Oh. Yeah, just make sure to always place torches on the right as you go.
Yeah. Yes.
Except that if one was using actual torches,
Ooh,
No.
No.
not
Waves.
flashlights, then that'd be a bad idea.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And even if there wasn't a particularly high concentration of methane in the area, still,
Yeah,
you're in an
yes.
enclosed space with fire. That's
And smoke.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
not a good idea.
Mm-hmm. So if you're watching this, don't do that. Not in real life, anyway.
Let's see.
In case you were in real life planning on going in on an excursion through a cavern that had a high methane gas density. Yeah,
You never know.
don't
Could
use
be.
torches. Like actual fire of any kind.
Uh-huh. Also, if you have to bring a hammer down there, get a bronze hammer. That doesn't create sparks.
Good thinking.
No, it actually does. That's what they use. And yeah.
I assumed you weren't just making it up.
But no, in while we're waiting for Rogue, in factories where they handle flammable materials, like flammable gases, liquids, things like that, they do use bronze tools because they don't create sparks. Which I just found that really interesting, because you think of that as more the thing of thousands of years ago in the Bronze Age, but no, still useful.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know how in, just while we're waiting, a small note, you know how in kind of films, like American films from like the 60s and 70s around there, that are set in the UK in London, to denote that it's London, they've got this really heavy fog everywhere, yeah?
Mm.
Well, that is literally what the fog out there looks like now, especially with the street lights.
Uh-huh.
It looks just like that.
It looks very nice.
Yeah.
It's not. We don't get that. It's not all the time. It's quite rare,
Mhm.
but it's like that now. It's been like that since last night. Kind of off and on, but anyway, yes.
Well, let's continue anyway, because we are live, so...
Yeah.
Okay. So, you reckon that you could probably keep going in this network of caverns for a long time. Do you want to press forward? If so, how long?
Hmm.
Probably go for like half hour to an hour, and if nothing changes, just head back.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll be able to find what caused it to be damp. There's some sort of water.
Yeah, I mean, you hear water trickling down all
yes.
over the place.
Yeah, we
And
have to go find
If
the
you do it,
source.
if you give it a little quick scan, it is definitely actually just water.
Is there an aquifer or something?
There could be, quite probably.
Wow.
The further down you get, the more damp things get. You do also find some little streams that can come where the water comes out of the rock, kind of flows across, kind of vanishes into, goes into little pools or little lakes, and it's also starting to get quite a bit warmer down here.
Mm-hmm.
Give me another insight plus security check. Yes, the constantly watching applies again.
Is that just Shiun?
Actually, some of the passages are getting a bit wider, so if you want to assist, sure, go ahead.
Great.
Right. All same parameters.
Mm-hmm.
Insight plus security, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright. Then I would like a die again.
Alright.
We'll just assume that Rogue has nothing to object to that.
Usually doesn't, so it's probably fine.
Yeah.
And we'll also assume the same for Mr. W.
I thought that as well.
Ah. That's, aside from the red, that is the complete inverse of the thing above. Oh, that 0 is a 19.
Well, the pink.
Interesting.
I do love rolling my 18s, 19s, and 20s.
Does the survival focus apply? Or not?
Sure.
Ah, nice.
Why not?
Okay, here we go. Okay, well,
And there we
never
go.
mind.
Of course.
Okay. So, not
Someone had to roll a complication.
not gonna turn that one into threat just yet.
Didn't think so.
So, looking around,
Do I slip on a damp rock?
that damp rock. No. You keep going for about another hour, like you said. And just as you're about to turn back, you don't discover anything else that's particularly interesting. The ground starts to shake. There's a rumble. You can hear these deep, almost penetrating sound waves traveling through the cave. Things moving. You can hear distant rubble falling. It only lasts for a few moments, but it's a little unnerving to say the least.
I would imagine.
So, what do you want to do?
So this comes from behind us?
All
Or
around
just
you.
Around, okay.
All around you.
Okay. Captain, should we head back? I'm not sure if it's safe to proceed.
One more scan.
Alright.
We're quite a bit further down. Maybe the range can find something at this point.
Okay.
So, let's do science plus reason. And let's see, do I want to give you the difficulty? Sure. Let's do difficulty 2.
Okay.
We've got 1 momentum left, by the way.
Well, we have 10 minutes left in the session. Can I use determination with search, study, solve?
Let's see.
If we don't find anything at this point, we just have to turn back and give it up for a loss, so...
Sure, go ahead.
Alright,
Good.
cool. I'm gonna get an auto crit on that. So I'm just gonna try not to roll complications.
Okay.
Good. Good luck.
Thanks. Oh, hey,
Well,
it's 4.
And an
apparently
18.
did help.
Another 18.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Oh, I'm just counting down. Okay.
Okay, so that's 4, which means you regain 2, so we're at 3. And scanning once more. You detect below you, through the rock, there is no direct connection with the cave that you're in at the moment. Quite a ways below you, you detect a large body of water. No life signs here, but it is quite a ways away, so you can't rule it out. Additionally, you detect in the rock around you several pockets of compressed gases that are exerting forces in the surroundings, on their surroundings. Other than that, there is nothing worth note.
Can we get to the aquifer?
The cavern that you're in at the moment, as far as you can scan, does not connect with it directly. But if you carry on going, you might find a way into the large body of water. Who knows?
Could try that. So how have
Doviah? Attempt
Yes,
to
Captain?
contact either the backup team or the ship. If we can't get in contact with anyone, we have to head back and return with assistance.
Aye, Captain.
Okay. So, this time I'm not going to tell you the difficulty. It's going to be engineering plus control.
Sure. South Space Communications? No. It's, Just looking.
We have 6 minutes left.
Yeah,
We have value that applies.
that's what I'm looking for. Never lose hope.
Yeah, I mean, if you had expressed
Nah.
that Doviah was stressing out during this,
When
then maybe,
when
but
the shaking started, yes. But then I don't know, is it still going?
no.
Okay, then I would have probably calmed
It's-
down a bit.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I think the captain is more Vulcan composed version of stressed than Doviah.
Okay. Sure.
Showing an excess of concern.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, I'll just do a straight up roll. That's fine. Hopefully. There we go. 2 successes. So,
Okay.
so try contacting the
Uh-huh.
the landing party, the others first.
You try contacting either of them,
Okay.
and it's just the static of the communicator echoing through the caves. You do not get through.
There's nothing, Captain. I'm trying
At this
to get
point,
through.
at this
but-
point, Nero says, "Yeah, I think we should head out."
Yes.
Agreed.
We have the scans, we know where it is, we can come back with a more prepared group.
Right.
Okay.
So we head back.
Good.
Turn back and
Now, since we've only got 4 minutes left, let's end it there.
okay. Oh, Rogue is online. Rogue is online now.
Yes.
Oh, you mean on Discord?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Probably just reconnected. Yeah.
Probably.
Oh yeah, problems with Discord.
Alright.
Ah,
Hello!
hello!
You catch us right at the end.
Would anyone like to recap what happened while you were gone?
Well,
So-
we walked through caverns for a long time, and there was some sort of quake, and we found through scans an underground lake, but since we couldn't get in contact with the ship or the backup team, we're heading back to get that contact and return more prepared.
Thank you. Also,
Indeed.
Kango, I bet that I know what you're going to paste. Do you want me to guess?
Sure.
Is it the Animaniacs Quake, that Quake song? Is it?
Maybe.
I can't click on it because then it would stop.
Alright, yeah, it is.
Ah, see, great. Okay, so right, that's where we're then gonna end it.
Okay.
So, does anyone have any
Okay.
comments, any feedback,
Closing remarks.
closing remarks?
It's been a great session. It's fun exploring caves.
When they're not
It'd
monsters?
be more fun to explore caves that actually change as you explore them.
As?
But sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what the Romulan has to say next session.
Yes.
Or at least that's what you hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is just a really boring situation that we found ourselves in.
Yeah, because that would
Maybe
make...
there was something on the other side of the moon that we were supposed to discover. Who knows?
Yeah, because... I mean, that's what makes for entertaining television, isn't it? Although, in all seriousness, those... there are in Star Trek, there are occasionally episodes where there isn't some existential threat, something really tense and things like that, and they are kind of a nice... they're refreshing, I find, if they're well written. But
Like an ease of tension.
yeah, like for example, Data's Day is a good one. Anyway, so thank you all very much for watching. If you're watching live or archived,
This too will be archived.
it will, yes, as usual. And by the time that you see this, if you're watching this archived, you will know what this episode is called, which is more than I do right now. So, yes, Room's Pathos there. So, yes, good night. Bye-bye.
Indeed.
And we're ending perfectly on time. Good.
Exactly.
Bye-bye.
Bye everyone.